Back to Weekend Prime. Now, the late President Mwai Kibaki left all his wealth to his bloodline beneficiaries, locking out his children's spouses and life partners. In his will, he maps out how his wealth will be distributed and managed through a holding company. But just how much Kenya's third president was worth remains a closely guarded secret.
At 90, Emilio Mwai Kibaki, the man who helped define the advent of multi-party politics and later ruled Kenya for a decade, died in April this year, leaving a rich legacy for his efforts in the fight for democracy and economic and infrastructural development during his tenure as president. 3 years after handing over power and 5 years and 4 months before he died, Kibaki penned down his wishes in a 6-page document which has now been filed in court in a bid to pass on his earthly wealth to the next generation. In the December 23, 2016 will, Kibaki appoints his children Judy Wanjiko Kibaki, Jimmy Kibaki, David Kagai and Anthony Githinji as executors. In his specific bequests, he bequeaths his estate and cash in any bank to be distributed equally between his children. Identified amounts of money and/or identified assets to be distributed to persons in accordance with his wishes. All personal effects, including papers, to be bequeathed to the Mwai Kibaki Foundation. In the will, Kibaki orders his wealth to be distributed along his bloodline, where his children should receive a benefit from a certain asset. He states, "Following my own death, then any direct blood descendants of theirs, but not any spouse or life partner, shall receive their parents' benefit if more than one in equal shares." His wealth will be distributed and managed through a holding company in which his children will have equal shares. Just how much the man who ruled Kenya for a decade was worth remains a closely guarded secret. A Gazette notice seeking to have anyone challenging the will to file their objections was published. 2 people have emerged claiming to be Kibaki's children. J&L, who claims to be the eldest daughter of Kibaki, claims she was born while her mother and the former president were students in London. In her application before the family court, J&L argues a consent was not sought before the succession papers were filed before court. 62-year-old Jacob Ochola Mwai, who claims to be the late Kibaki's son, is also claiming a stake in the estate. Rita Tinina, KTN News.
Moving on, learners in all basic education institutions will be at home for the next 10 days after schools closed for a 10 second term holiday, while term 3 will